Docket. No, not now, not now. Okay, sorry. All right. So we are now back, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies, but we are now back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. It seems like my live. Sorry. It seems like my live experienced some technical difficulties. I was diving into Donald Trump being a documented liar. All right. And so we're going to go back a little bit because I want to make sure I capture this because, I have to upload these videos. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So I started here, ladies and gentlemen. My bad. You can go look into this. Donald Trump has, in his first term, he's been documented to have lied over 30,000 times. All right. And he lied about everything. All right. Including C-19, including January 6th. But the list goes on and on. So what I had done was I had brought people's attention to PolitiFact. Now, PolitiFact says only 3% of what Donald Trump says is actually true. You can go to their website and look into this. All right. Because they always say I don't bring evidence. And so we were at the point where I said, well, 3% of the things Donald Trump says is true. 7% are mostly true. When you add that up, that's 10%. But then we get over into this half truth, mostly false, and pants on fire. So 90% of what Donald Trump is saying is basically a lie. It's basically a lie. The man has no ability to tell the truth. And they break it up into these categories, mostly false, pants on fire. And you can actually click on some of these things, right? Let's just go and click on pants on fire. For instance, U.S. men's hockey Olympian Brady Chuck said about the Canadian hockey team, they booed our national anthem. So I had to come out and teach those maple syrup eating effers a lesson, which was a lie. Another one, among Somalis in Minnesota, 92% of them don't work. These are pants on fire lies. All right. These are pants on fire lies that Donald Trump is telling. Another one, Doge halts yearly payments of $2.5 million to Barack Obama for royalties linked to Obamacare. Another lie. Voting in California is rigged. These are pants on fire lies, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And you can just go and look into this yourself. We got false. You can go look at false. 2015 Iran nuclear agreement gave Iran the right to have the top of the line in weapons. False. We got another one. After U.S. vessel struck the Caribbean. After U.S. vessel strikes in the Caribbean Sea and Pacific Ocean, rugs entering our country by sea are down 97%. These are false statements. And so when you layer this, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I brought this up for all of you Trump supporters. When you have a president that's a documented liar and you are still following him, you're investing based off of the things he's doing. You're allowing the country to go straight to hell in a handbasket. You're going to hell with gasoline draws on. And all you have to defend against all the bad stuff that I listed earlier, right before I got taken down, right? We got high gas prices. We got high beef prices. We got high grocery prices in general. Oh, but you got cheaper eggs. Give me a break. The egg prices, they're going to go up. You got the oil price just doing like this because he's manipulating the market with headlines. Have you ever seen a president do this? Manipulating the oil market with headlines because he knows he's in deep, deep trouble with the fact that he went into this situation with Iran with no exit strategy. All right. And things are just getting warmed up, right? Well, speaking of warmed up, what are you going to do, Zeus? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire. Hey, CX, hey, DJ, and the rest of you. Please explain why you continue to get out here on social media and repeat the lies of your father, the devil. Never mind. Do me a favor and go straight to hell. I really don't care.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, we got an actual confession from a Trump supporter to go over today. All right, this is amazing. This is one of the most. I love it when people send me stuff like this where MAGA is giving up. I call it giving up the ghost. Chris Wick posted yesterday, and I guess he's done with the Trump train. It's always amazing when Trump supporters come to this point. I used to think that some of the people that continue to come to my show would eventually get to this point, But I am firmly convinced there's going to be some folks who are going to ride it out. They're going to go down with the sinking ship, and I just want them to know the warning signs were there. So this is a Trump voter, Chris Wick. You can look him up on X, Chris Wick News. He goes, "I was fooled by Donald Trump. I'll admit it. I voted for Donald Trump. Back then, like millions of others, I believed the promises. Drain the swamp. Stand up to the global elite. Put the people first. It sounded like the beginning of a revolution. But years later, the truth looks very different. The wars didn't stop. The power structures didn't fall. The same financial empires still control the system. And the people still struggling. It makes you wonder, was the outsider image real or just another performance inside the same political machine?" Sometimes the hardest thing to do is admit this. We wanted to believe, but believing doesn't make it true. If more people start questioning the system, maybe real change can finally happen. Share this if you think people need to start asking harder questions. And then you got a couple of replies. Ryan Mata, he's on X, used to be a Trump voter. I don't know. He could be just pivoting and making money being critical of Trump. You never know. But he replies and says, "You're almost there, Chris. You're almost there, CX. You're almost there, Tiny Tank Top Tip Top. You're almost there, DJ. The list goes on. Dame. Once you get to the dual citizens and the Israelites are the root cause of everything, you will be fully awakened." And then he says, "My friend, I'm already there." You know, I keep saying a hard head makes for a soft behind. The thing is this, MAGA, if you are going to go as far as to acknowledge you've been duped, you can't just immediately rush into another relationship, right? That's how you don't end up getting better as a person. You ever seen somebody just bouncing from one relationship to another? You're always in a relationship. When do you actually take time and do a battle damage assessment? You know what that is, right? And analyze like, wow, how did I allow myself to ignore all the things, all the warning signs that were flashing in my face? Warning, warning, warning. And the answer was, and he didn't apologize to the Democrats, because that's what every single Trump supporter needs to do. You need to apologize to every Democrat that has been telling you that this guy is the worst of the worst and the scum of the earth. And you continue to laugh and spit in our faces, stomp on our graves and things like that. So there's no accountability. There's no acknowledgement. And the worst thing is this. He could have said, "I'm sorry, Big Zeus." But he didn't even say, "Sorry, Big Zeus." So, I took it personal. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm going to warm up the lake of fire because I hope Chris continues on his journey. But there's still some MAGA demon in there, right? And what I want to do is purify your soul. And the only way I can do it is if I warm up this lake of fire and send you behind where? Straight to hell. Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah.
You MAGA Damon.
W Zeus. And if you can't handle me sending you to hell on this show, just leave. I don't, like Donald Trump said to you, I don't need your vote. W Zeus.
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
Thank you, Rick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you all want to see what's going to be the downfall of Donald Trump come midterm? This is one of the reasons outside of the Epstein file. This is going to be one of the main reasons Donald Trump and the Republicans get cooked.
We have seen extreme volatility in the price of oil over this last week, and that has translated to sticker shock right here at the pump.
Ooh.
This morning, the wild volatility in oil prices from the war in Iran reaching gas pumps across the U.S.
Ridiculous, crazy, insane.
Right now, I'm already at $65 and still pumping.
I can only see it going up. There's only so much oil to go around.
In just the last week, gasoline prices have climbed from $3.11 to $3.54, up 43 cents.
with the war triggering the biggest disruption to oil supplies in history, effectively shutting off the Strait of Hormuz, a critical passage for nearly 20% of the world's oil.
I stopped at 8 gallons or 8 gallons because I couldn't afford to fill in my tank.
You hear that? You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? When you have Americans saying they had to stop the gas pump, where it was at because they couldn't afford to fill up their tank, the question remains, who wants more of this? Does anyone in the audience want more high gas prices? Can any Trump voter get up here and tell us all, I won't even debate you. I'll let you just come up here and embarrass yourself. Are there any Trump supporters that could come up here and tell us all why we should want higher gas prices? And I already know what they're going to bring up, Joe Biden and short-term pain for long-term gain.
I'm afraid that it's going to go up higher in the coming weeks.
This father telling our Victor Akendo gas is now a major hardship.
I can't fill my tank anymore. Half tank, maybe 3/4 is all I can afford.
In California, the average price for a gallon now topping $5.
Wow.
Well, I won't be driving as much, I know that.
At some stations in Los Angeles, it costs even more, as our Melissa Adan saw firsthand.
Prices at this gas station are nearly $6 a gallon. And less than 10 miles away from here in downtown Los Angeles, prices are sky high at over $8 a gallon.
Now, with spring...
y'all want to get out there and have some fun? Look at all these people. Y'all want to get out there and have some fun now while gas prices are just whooping you over the head right now. Are you kidding me? Oh, you could go have a nice little spring break, but you won't be eating out at none of those fancy restaurants. Nope. That's no longer on the list for a lot of you, because a lot of you saved up your money. You're using your tax returns. I know what these people are doing. You're using your TikTok merch or whatever you want to call it, and you thought you were going to go out here and ball out of control. You better sit your special behind down and listen to this special broadcast before you end up running out of gas somewhere.
Right around the corner, some say they're rethinking their plans.
Cutting back on some plans too, because it is so much. I had plans to travel, but I'm not so sure now.
Yeah, and this reminds me, didn't Dame tell me, I know I've seen Dame on this app working extra hours. Hey, Dame, aren't you supposed to be on vacation? But then it makes sense, bro, that you're not. It makes sense you're not now that I think about it, because these gas prices, bro, they hurting you. And I love watching them act like it doesn't hurt. You ever seen somebody act like pain isn't pain and they try to put on that face? I love watching it because you know what they say, too much pressure makes the pipes burst. Go ahead, W. Zeus.
Now, the longer this disruption, the deeper its impact, both on gas prices, but also the ripple effects through the economy, grocery prices, airfares, the cost of doing business for farmers and small companies. It all gets higher as oil prices and gasoline prices climb. But there is some good news potentially. You've seen overnight oil prices have gone from $120 a barrel to now below $90 a barrel. That means, according to Patrick DeHaan at Gas Buddy, that prices should taper off mid this week at the gas station. They could even be lower by this weekend if oil holds here. Okay, all right. So there's some hope, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there's some hope. I mean, you know, if you like it, I love it, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why I say what I say on this show. I say, you know what? A hard head, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, it does make for a soft you know what. But that's not the worst of it. You know, as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot more going on. All right. It's not just the gas prices. That's the issue. All right. We also have, I think there are some issues going on as it relates to, what did they say? Traveling. Let's see if I can get that up here too, because I wanted to address this too. Because we just talked about people going on their spring breaks. Oops, I got the wrong vision. My bad. Hold on. Play his mess up. There you go. We just talked about people going on spring break and the gas prices being high. But let's talk about, I think, what's going on at these airports.
60,000 TSA officers. These are the ones who get you through security. They've now gone without a full paycheck in almost a month. And that's just caused...
So TSA's gone without a full paycheck for a month. You know, number one, shout out to all the TSA agents out there that are still going to work despite the fact that we have the most incompetent administration ever in the United States of America. that has caused all of this. This is 100% Donald Trump's fault. But it's honorable that you're able to show up and go to work and have not been paid. It's really disgusting too. But it's more evidence that Donald Trump's priorities, they're not the American people. It's Donald Trump. But so you thought you were going to go on spring break and splurge, and then you got hit with the gas prices. But we're also finding out that you might not even be able to spend as much time vacationing the way you had planned, because most of your time is going to be probably at the airport.
Because some of them aren't coming to work. This morning at some airports around the country, those massive wait times not going away anytime soon.
I travel the world. I've never seen anything like this.
Wow. You know, Donald Trump usually is the one that says never seen anything like this. But when you got American people saying they've never seen anything like this, how are you going to win the midterms?
Airport in Houston, passengers instructed to arrive for their flights 3 to 4 hours ahead of time due to TSA staffing shortages caused by the partial government shutdown.
Crazy. This is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this.
The delays potentially impacting thousands of spring break travelers making their way through Houston's 2 airports. More than 2.5 million daily passengers are traveling through America's airports.
Come on, 2 lines, 2 escalators. Let's go, let's go.
Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans struggling to manage lines out to the parking garage, the mayor urging caution.
TSA agents didn't receive a paycheck, so you have a lot of the workforce that has called in sick, which is causing these huge lines.
Johnny Jones is the treasurer for the union representing TSA workers.
The thing that I'm going to tell passengers is, please, it's not our fault if people can't come to work because they no longer have funds.
And things aren't looking to get better anytime soon. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby saying the surge in jet fuel prices since last Friday could have a meaningful impact on the airline's business. And we are seeing shorter lines this morning, but officials are warning the longer this shutdown goes on, the more likely we are to see those issues and long lines.
Boom. Boom, 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 ladies and gentlemen. So, do we all see the common denominator going on right now in America? We have Donald Trump single-handedly destroying the United States economy, ruining spring breaks, right? Enriching himself in the middle of all of this. And he's doing this all by not doing his job as the president, which is he's supposed to be governing, right? He's supposed to be demonstrating he has the skills to negotiate. You know, they say skills to pay the bills, but what we're seeing is he doesn't. And this is a situation that his supporters, along with him, have caused. Every single one of you Trump supporters, you're responsible for this. And I hope and I pray that a lot of you Trump supporters, I hope you can't pay for your gas. Now, that's mean, right? That's a mean thing for me to say. I hope when you go to the gas station, because I've seen it at the gas station. You go to the gas station, you see $5, $6, and you go, who would only put $5 or $6 of gas in their car? I pray sometimes. I say, I'm glad that's a Trump supporter. I want you Trump supporters to really experience hard life. All right? Because I get it. If you don't value your life, then why should I? I hope you end up, you ever seen this video? There's a video. I want to show you what I hope. Let me see if I can find this. I want to see if this is, can somebody look into this? I hope, and I'm going around looking for them. I'm going around, but I hope this is the life every single Trump supporter on the face of the earth is subjected to. And you know, they didn't want to identify themselves, but I'm 100% sure this is Trump supporter. This has to be a Trump supporter. Now, before I hit play on this, ladies and gentlemen, this is somebody living out of a storage unit, and they're acting like it is a flex. But I promise you, this has to be MAGA, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this is MAGA.
Unit, you're going to need to be as invisible as you possibly can.
Yeah, this is what I hope for you Trump voters.
You need to be a ghost.
Because you couldn't.
If anybody finds out you're here, that's when you start running into trouble.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I needed power for my unit. So what I did is I ran an extension cord along the power cable up here, and I sort of zip tied it up. So you can't really tell its power is going to my unit unless you are looking closely. So this is my unit here, and At the top of the unit, you can see I have an antenna, and that's so I can get a cell signal inside the unit
show me
itself,
show me the spread, bro. Get in there.
It drops all
Show
signal.
us the spread.
I have a lock, which I've magnetized onto the door, so it looks like
your
it's locked,
401ks,
even when it's not. And then when I actually do want to lock it, I can just use this lock or use another one down here and leave that one there. All right, so let's take a look at the unit now.
Yeah, this is, I hope.
So in here, I've got my TV, entertainment center set up there. I've got my bed. I've got my kitchen area
all worth
over
it for
there,
Daddy Trump, huh?
complete with a fridge and my couch over here.
Trump did this.
Once you're inside here,
no
you
windows.
can close the door. And I've screwed on a latch here, so that way you can close it and sort of lock it from the inside.
Yeah, this is the pit stop before hell.
I've also put a mirror up, so you can see what you're doing. Up here, I've got
you know what's so funny?
a toaster
You
up.
know what's so funny? The mirror. The mirror is the funniest part because you look in the mirror and you see yourself inside of a storage shed, and you say, "Yeah, I'm good." That's crazy work right there. But this is This is why I say it's the MAGA demon, because he's turning a bad situation that's really bad into somehow it's part of some sort of 5D, 6D, maybe even 20-dimensional chess play.
And this toaster oven actually works pretty well. I'd say it works just as well as a conventional oven. I've got some dishes over here.
Dishes. Wow.
Got some more pots and pans over here. And my fridge is right here. Underneath, I've got a filing cabinet, some tools, and some storage for some other stuff I have. Up on this part of the kitchen, I have cutting board, so I can make some lunch or dinner there. I have a hot plate for boiling water, cereal. Up here is the Tupperware, and then over here I've got a food cupboard with all my food.
Yeah. Any ladies out there interested in dating a man like this? This is Kristi Noem, she put the smash pad in a private jet. But would you let a man, honestly, ladies, would you let a man that was interested in dating you, would you let him take you to a storage shed? No, seriously. I'm not talking to the real women. I'm talking to the conservative women out there, because I already know what all of you women are going to say. But no, seriously, to the conservative women out there. Put one in the chat. Would any women out there allow a grown man to take them to public storage? You know what they call it.
This is the sink I've built, and the sink is basically like a 25-liter container filled with water, and I've attached these tubes here, so you just open it up, and then the water comes down this tube and out there.
God knows what he's done in this. One thing I know about demons is there's some nasty folks. And what you all got to understand is you're seeing him on the cleaner side, but you know there's dirty days in here. You know there's dirty days.
Running water, you can do dishes, get a drink, whatever, and then the water filters into this bucket, which goes down into these holes here, which goes into a funnel, which leads into a separate container here. And I usually find I have to empty that container and refill that one, usually once a week, maybe twice. So over here above the bed, I've built a bar.
A bar?
And this is just...
He got a bar above the bed. Wow, champ. What a spring break vacation. I mean, all you got to do is trust that Donald Trump's going to lower your grocery prices and your gas prices and maybe make the cost of living a lot cheaper. But since he hasn't done that, I guess you got to do what you got to do. Look at all that. Look at all that strong substance. You need all that kind of stuff in your body in order to justify living in a demon lair.
To hold all my liquor and drinks and everything. But I've also got stuff at the back there behind the bed. So what I've done is I've built this little...
You built it?
Hinge here.
Oh, snap.
This comes out, and then the hinge drops down. Ooh. And then that can hold in place while you go and get whatever you need to from back there.
What's back there, though? Wow. Amazing.
Over here, I've built a clothing rack, and this works just like it would in any closet. put your clothes there, except I've included this little latch here on this string, so
latch those clothes
you
together.
can push the clothing further to the wall, giving you more space.
More space. Hey, I knew that.
Up here, I built some shelving for some items that I'm storing in here that I don't really use too much.
Wow.
I got my snowboard hanging from the ceiling there.
Wow.
And as you can see, all the stuff I've built in here is all built basically hanging from the ceiling. And the way I did that is I just got 2x4s, really long 2x4s, and put them all the way across the unit. And then I used L brackets to build shelving down from that.
Okay. And so I played that, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I apologize, right? I don't know this person, and if you're really going through difficult times, but you know what you're doing, as far as I'm concerned, is very dangerous. And I'm surprised storage facility is allowing you to get away with it. That's a serious fire hazard, and I would actually caution anyone, please don't do anything like that. If times are hard, go out and look for some Democrat socialist programs, all right, to help you out. That's why we are the people, and that's why we understand how important it is, because we understand every now and then you fall on hard times, right? But this is why I say I believe this is a Trump supporter, because instead of actually asking for help, he dug a ditch for himself. This guy actually thinks this is a flex to go inside of a storage shed and live worse than a dog, worse than any creature I've ever seen. And he obviously has some talent, right? Because he can build things in the storage shed. Well, you should be using those talents to actually get you a nice place to stay and maybe even start your own life, right? But you won't do that. You're going to continue to hold out hope for your daddy, your dear leader, and hope that maybe one day he'll actually start to come through on some of those campaign promises. Well, good luck, champ, all right? And what you see is a pit stop, right? That's the pit stop before you get the ultimate MAGA reward. And they say, well, what's the ultimate, Zeus? What is the ultimate MAGA reward? What is it? Jail? And if you don't get your soul right, hell. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire once again. And this is for the Trump supporters out there. Not just the ones that are living in the storage sheds, but the ones that are on their way. Do us all a huge favor and go straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, that's a huge W, Zeus, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's a huge W, Zeus. Now, a couple of things that we need to do is we gotta go through some of the remarks the demon himself made yesterday while he was giving a press conference. Well, he did an event with the Republicans, a fundraising event with the Republicans, and then he did a press conference to try to calm people down about what's going on in Iran. All right, and so what we'll do is we'll go through both of them and then we'll judge them. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is let's go to his fundraising event. So we all know that Donald Trump started this conflict, and American soldiers have lost their life. And I don't trust the numbers. I know I shouldn't say that, but I just have a hard time trusting Donald Trump. Bear with me, all right? But while he was speaking yesterday, in the middle of his fundraising thing, whatever, he decided to at least try to acknowledge the fallen soldiers. Listen to Donald Trump, in my opinion, just totally prove he doesn't care about our men and women in uniform at all. All he cares about is himself.
Been much more capable than they are had he lived, because he was capable. He was vicious, violent, and capable. But we got rid of him first term. And we did so many things. I mean, we've done so many things, but as you know, on Saturday I traveled to Dover Air Force Base to be with the families of 6 fallen warriors as they returned to American soil. And I know that everyone in this room joins me in sending our prayers and eternal gratitude to the families of those great heroes. Those families are incredible families, devastating to be. Hardest thing to do. You know, I've done it a lot. The hardest thing to do is to go to Dover, because Dover is where, for the most part, a lot of the fallen, the warriors, the great young people that have died in war, they seem to mostly go to Dover. They come home to Dover. Dover does a great job of handling things. They have men assigned to the family.
What?
They have men and women that are incredible, assigned to the families. It's a beautiful thing, but it's also a very sad thing. But they all said one thing to me: make sure you win, sir. Make sure you win. They weren't playing games.
How disrespectful is it to go watch, it's just, to me, amazing he can get away with disrespecting our men and women in uniform like this. Who said that, Donald Trump? Does anyone believe that that their families said that to them as they were receiving their loved ones? Go finish the job. You just had my significant other eliminated over a cause we don't understand, because every day the narrative shifts. So I'm going to give Donald Trump a huge boo for that. It's disgusting. That's not the hellfire, but I know. Next, he's going to brag about tariffs, and he says no other president could do something like do what he's doing. And I just wanted to call this out because he's right.
I have lots of other ways of doing the same thing. I just have to work a little harder. They want me to work harder, but we're doing the same thing with a lot of work. But I use tariffs to get this because I went to other countries. The drug companies were not easy, but I got them. And I said, we're not paying. We were paying for a pill $130 that in London and Germany and different places you'd pay $10. So we were paying 13 times more. They're paying $10, we're paying $130. And the drug companies, I called them in. We had a rough time, but it wasn't that bad. And they agreed because they knew that I couldn't get the countries. You had to get the countries to approve it. And I called up, and you've heard me say this a couple of times, not often, but I called the countries up. I called up France. I said, Emmanuel, you have to cut your good friends from America a reasonable deal. What's happening is you are paying a tiny fraction for drugs. No, Donald, I cannot do anything about that. I said, you can. And he said, no, I will not do it. I will not do it. Because he'd have to raise his pill from $10 to $20 and maybe even $30. Ours would come down from $13 to $130 down to $20. Think of that. From $130. That's what you're going to get. From $130 to $20. But he has to double his price from $10. And they were the boss. I said, no, you will. No, Donald, I cannot do that. And I heard this from all the other countries too, very elegant people. And they were saying, no, we cannot do this. We will not do this. I said, yes, you will, 100%. No, we will not. Because, they have to double up their prices. And I said, well, here's the story. If you don't do it, I'm going to put, in the case of Emmanuel, I said a 100% tariff on all wines and champagnes coming into the United States. No, Donald, you cannot do that. I said, I've already got the legislation. It's right in front of my desk. I'm going to sign it. Emmanuel, he said, Donald, I will agree to this. So he agreed. Everybody agreed. I got every country to agree. And now you've done something that no other president could have done. No, I don't want to brag.
Here it goes.
But, they've said this about a lot of things. No other president could do some of this shit I'm doing. No other.
You hear that? You hear what he just said? No other president could do some of this. And he literally called it what it is. It really is that. But the tariffs were found to have been illegal by the highest court of the land. So what he's basically saying is no other president would have broken the law like he's done. And all right. I know this is painful to endure, but then I need MAGA to answer this question. He was talking about the SAVE Act, or as he likes to frame it, the Save America Act and voter ID. But he slipped up and mentioned something about a 6-year-old girl. And I need MAGA to clarify what he meant.
But those three things. Then I added 2 more. These are best of, best of. These are called best of Trump. We should also add on to this bill. And so what I've asked Mike to do is to draw a new one with these few things added. And let's go for the gold. Let's not just get one like voter ID, but it can be given to you by your daughter. Your daughter, she has to be of age, like above 6 years old, she's allowed to say. You had to see some of this stuff is so bad.
Gregory, what is he talking about with the 6-year-old? And what does that have to do with voter ID?
But, it can be given to you by your daughter. Your daughter, she has to be of age, like above 6 years old, she's allowed to say.
Gregory, what does that mean? No, I'm serious. Because, see, this is what I mean when I say you got a guilty conscience. Eventually, you're going to end up saying stuff, and then you got to catch yourself. But I have not gotten clarification. DJ, Dame, what on earth is this?
The gold. Let's
go for the gold.
Just get one like voter ID, but, it can be given to you by your daughter. Your daughter, she has to be of age, like above 6 years old, she's allowed to say.
You know what? I know what it is. I know what it is, MAGA. It's his guilty conscience talking. And you know it too. You know he's in those files. He didn't want to go deeper because he understood what there's no way out of that, right? There's no way out of that. It's more evidence that Donald Trump is doing all of this because he's in the Epstein files. Case closed. But I'm willing to hear a different perspective on that. But I know I won't be able to get that out of you Trump supporters. You guys are nothing but a bunch of liars. And that's why I say, if you want to know what MAGA stands for, it's misogynist and racist right off top. You go a little further to the right, you get into that sedition territory. You know what they did on January 6th. And then you go further to the right, and you'll realize these people are guardians of P3DOs. These people get off. They're obsessed with kids. I don't get it. They're obsessed with kids. And they want to turn around and make it look like it's you that's obsessed with the kids, so that you can then they could somehow say, see, it's not that big of a deal because they want it to be something that everybody is guilty of doing. But no, everybody is not guilty of doing it. It's just you, MAGA. It really is. All right. So then right after that disaster of a press conference, ladies and gentlemen, he had his meeting, or another, I don't even want to call it, just another event at the White House. Back-to-back lying, all right? And what he was trying to do is calm people down about the conflict, the war in Iran. And so we're going to go through a couple of these questions. I know I'm pressed for time, but we're going to make it through it. Number one, this is why I say Donald Trump and his administration, they're going to have to be brought up on war crime trials, all right? I don't know what we'll call it, right? But the booming at the school that involved the girls. He's getting hammered by this, and I believe eventually folks are going to end up going to prison behind this strike right now, because we're not going to sit there and let this get swept under the rug. Listen to Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, now accuse Iran of dropping the boom booms on the school, and then saying, well, they have Tomahawks too.
Missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I haven't seen it. And I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries. You know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more. But whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic. It's sold to other countries. But that's being investigated right now.
It's amazing how all of a sudden he doesn't know. Isn't that Joe Biden's excuse, Donald Trump? You all of a sudden are starting to use the Democrat excuses. And I see right through it. We're going to hold them accountable for this, ladies and gentlemen. Later on in the interview, another reporter questioned him. And again, shout out to this reporter. I forget their name. But they're asking him the real serious questions.
Thank you, sir. You've said you have someone in mind to be the new Iranian leadership, if not the Ayatollah's son.
Oops.
What are you looking for in that person? Are you looking at someone in...
Here you go.
The politicians got fired. There was nobody. And you know what they turned into? ISIS. And we don't want that.
Here you go.
We don't want that. So I would like to see people that are inside go. Now, they talk about the son of the Shah. They talk about other people. But, hasn't been there in many, many years. We have a formula that's been very good.
There it goes.
He was asked to go on the first day of the war.
suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation, but Tomahawks are used by others, as you know.
So he says he just doesn't know anything about it. Does anyone believe Donald Trump, the stable genius himself, has no idea what his Secretary of War Crimes is doing? He has, on one side, you're telling us all you're kicking doors down and stomping these fools out left and right. Now all of a sudden it's one of your boom booms, and you have no idea. It's obviously all lies, and more proof Donald Trump doesn't care about women and children at all. And yet his supporters have to get on social media and defend this. Remember, one of them said, never mind, I'll move on because I got other things that I need to talk about. What else did I want to say, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, I know. We're going to go and talk about one of the latest things that are going on. I guess we have sleeper cells in the United States, and Donald Trump confirmed this.
So corrupt and so dishonest, like we've witnessed over the last period of time. You know, as an example, Jesus,
I don't want to hear that. Here it goes. Sleeper cells.
Any sleeper cells inside the U.S. There's reports that they have pressed that trigger button to activate those cells, at least abroad.
Well, they've been trying for a long time. We've been very much on top of it. One of the things we have to do is get the Democrats to stop the Democrat shutdown, because, as you know, the apparatus that looks into that, Schumer and the Democrats have shut it down, which tells you they probably hate our country a lot. But the Democrats have to open that up. But we've got very, very good intelligence into that. We know a lot of different things that have happened that have been very bad. A lot of them came in during the Biden open border period, but we have them under.
I booed them. I'm done with it, because as soon as you bring up Joe Biden, you've lost the argument. So what Donald Trump is basically saying is, we have sleeper cells in here, and just trust him and, the DOJ and Kash Patel. You'll be safe. Does anyone believe they're safer with Donald Trump and Kash Patel running the DOJ and Pam Bondi? Does anyone think they're safer? Seriously. If you do believe that you're safer, you know what? I got a bridge in Timbuktu to sell you. That's a huge W Zeus. The last part is this, ladies and gentlemen. It has to do with the fatalities associated with the U.S. soldiers. Obviously, Donald Trump doesn't care about our men and women in uniform losing their life, because when asked how many is too many, he basically says, whatever it takes to finish the job.
U.S. military fatalities associated with...
Hold on.
Over with right now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, as of today, there have been 8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. How many American deaths are you willing to have in this war?
Well, as I said before, when you have conflicts like this, you always have death. And I was at Dover yesterday. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people. They were unbelievable people, but they all had one thing in common. They said to me one thing, every single one: finish the job, sir. Please finish the job. And I'll leave you at that. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
How disrespectful. Look at that. Finish the job and storms off. Wow. Finish the job, and then he storms off, ladies and gentlemen. Is that what a real leader is? Honestly, no. Is that what a real leader does? And I'll wrap this all up, ladies and gentlemen, by letting our good friend.
Stop calling me.
I'm going to wrap it up by
I swear to God.
letting our good friend Lawrence O'Donnell explain to us all why Donald Trump is honestly the most un-American president ever, and the most disrespectful person when it comes to our men and women in uniform. All right, bear with me. Go ahead, Lawrence. Go ahead, kick this off.
One in the Trump clan has ever done. Enter a war zone. Show some guts. How about 19-year-old Barron Trump, who is turning 20 in 11 days?
Yes, Barron, put him in.
As I reported on this program last week, all 4 of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's sons served in the military in World War II, while their father served as commander-in-chief until his death in office weeks before Germany's unconditional surrender. There was nothing more loathsome in the United States during World War II than war profiteering. Harry Truman became president of the United States because of his crusade against war profiteering. Senator Harry Truman studied war contracts more than any other senator, searching for illegitimate profiteering. He eventually became the chairman of a special Senate committee to investigate war profiteering. Senator Truman's investigations were at first a minor irritant to President Franklin Roosevelt, who was worried about anything that might inhibit America's industrial giants like the auto industry, which was then converting their factories for the manufacture of aircraft and tanks. But soon President Roosevelt came to appreciate Senator Truman's policing of the war contracts.
Right.
And Senator Truman's condemnations of any war profiteers that his investigations exposed. Imagine Donald Trump appreciating congressional investigations of potential corruption in the war contracts that he awards, he personally awards,
Sick.
he personally interferes with and delivers to the companies he wants to deliver those awards to.
Corruption.
Franklin Roosevelt actually appreciated Harry Truman's investigations and condemnations of war profiteering so much that President Roosevelt chose Harry Truman to run with him as his vice presidential nominee as President Roosevelt ran for his final re-election campaign during World War II. Harry Truman then became president after President Roosevelt died in office.
Wow. Powerful.
Harry Truman would hate what the Wall Street Journal is now reporting
here it goes.
about Donald Trump.
Here it goes.
And his sons. The Wall Street Journal reports Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., the president's sons, are backing a new drone company that is vying to meet fresh demand from the Pentagon and fill a hole left by the administration's ban on new Chinese drones in the...
Is it acceptable, ladies and gentlemen, for a president's son or daughter, any family members, any relatives to profit off of a conflict? Is that acceptable? And I know what their excuse is. Oh, he's a businessman. Oh, he's doing it in public. As if that means it's okay. You know how many people commit crimes in public? Especially on social media, MAGA. Again, where is the outrage? Y'all cried about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And they didn't have this kind of money. They were just playing with a few million. We're dealing with trillions. I'm talking trillions with a T. All right. That's how much money the Trump family is grifting the American people. And you all have been radio silent. You're happy to live in those storage sheds. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Power Us, a drone roll-up company based in West Palm Beach, Florida, is merging with a publicly traded golf course holding company backed by the Trumps. Power Us executives said investors in the deal include one of the Trumps' investment vehicles, American Ventures, and Unusual Machines, a drone components company where Donald Trump Jr. is a shareholder and advisory board member. The deal brings deeper involvement by the Trump family into a multi-billion-dollar sector that has new opportunities for growth following changes imposed by the Trump administration.
So MAGA is okay. Think about where we got them. This is why I say it's like fish in a barrel. They are on social media, broke as a joke. MAGA broke as a joke. They're not making more money in their paychecks. They don't have affordable health insurance. The cost of groceries are going through the roof, right? Inflation's going up. Unemployment's going up. Gas prices are going up. You can't even travel. MAGA, you're getting shafted, right? And while you're getting shafted, in the background, your daddy is running around the world just making money hand over fist. And all you can do is point at Big Zeus and the Democrats to justify your suffering. You got to be, I mean, it's really pointless now to even make an attempt to try to have a serious conversation with you, because you clearly don't understand math.
Those include the Pentagon's emphasis on large-scale rapid adoption of small drones. When Donald Trump started his war, he called it a war. He called it a war multiple times, and that is what it is. Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense also called it a war when the war began, which he especially loved doing since he falsely calls himself the Secretary of War. But now that Donald Trump realizes that Americans don't like war, and maybe being reminded that he campaigned against war when he was running for president, Donald Trump is twisting the language to avoid the word war.
Oh, really?
I mean, this was an excursion that a lot of people wouldn't have done.
Excursion. Wow.
An excursion. That's his latest description of his war today.
Wow.
An excursion. Donald Trump finds new ways to dishonor the war dead.
Right.
A silly hat, and now an excursion. It's one thing to die in a war whose objective the president cannot explain. Americans have done that before and have done it since Vietnam. But to die in an excursion, to call it an excursion, before the families have even had the funerals.
Wow.
To struggle to find language that demeans those soldiers' sacrifice in service to his desperate political needs.
Where's Trump?
Is a uniquely Trumpian moment in the American presidency. Tonight, there was another dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base for Army Sergeant Benjamin Pennington, 26 years old, of Glendale, Kentucky. Donald Trump wasn't there. Donald Trump did not attend.
Wow.
But he did attend a fundraiser for House Speaker Mike Johnson today in Florida.
No, he
at
didn't.
Donald Trump's golf resort.
No, he
there.
didn't. No, he didn't.
And if you're paging through the history books trying to find the president who went to a political fundraiser at a golf club on the 10th day of a war, you can stop right now. Only the guy who said, show some guts, there's nothing to be afraid of, would show his guts by going to a fundraiser instead of the second dignified transfer of his war of choosing.
You see this, ladies and gentlemen? You see this? And, you know, he's not lying. This is Donald Trump instead of going to the dignified transfer, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Donald Trump was doing. This is what he was doing.
So what do we get to eat?
Yes, I am saying instead of going to the dignified transfer, all right, behind the war he started, he's actually doing this at the same time. While he should be standing there, he's doing this.
Right here. Mr. President, that's right here. 87 years old.
Who's that man with his belly? Hold on, who's that man with his belly out like that? It's amazing when you can catch these demons in the wild. What on earth?
Senor. That's great to see you. He wants to go to.
I mean, just belly all out the pants or shorts. This is the sickest thing I've seen. Wow.
We'll go to Cuba together. That's it.
Wow. Just.
Who's from Venezuela?
Who's from Venezuela? I've seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for dragging this out as long as I had to, but what you can see is Donald Trump doesn't value the lives of the American people. Donald Trump is the most un-American president we have ever had. I don't even like referring to him as the president. It's unfortunate, but he is that. That's why I just call him Trump or whatever. But when you see this man doing what he's done, dancing on the graves of our men and women in uniform, that's basically what he was doing. How do you go to a fundraiser while that's actually happening? You didn't even have enough sense to say, I don't want people on camera to see me being this disrespectful. Or you did, and you said, you know what? I don't care. One of the two. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, it's more proof that Donald Trump deserves this. What is that? Normally, I don't want to do it, right? But we got to. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up this lake of fire, because this is pure evil. This is the demonic force that's ruining this country, brought by Donald Trump and his supporters. And there's only really one thing you can do when you confront these demons in real time. You give them the truth, which we've already done. We've laid them down so much, and then we judge them accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I do this. Join me in warming up the lake of fire. Ooh, somebody already said they were trying to throw them in fast. Join me in sending these demons where they belong. Straight to hell. Oh. It feels so good. Oh, it does. Let me do it again. We got to do it again. You got to do it again. Let it go extra deep. Pressure. Put the pressure cooker on. It feels so good. Get that
deep. Silence, you MAGA Damon.
All right, and that's a huge W, Zeus. That's a huge W, Zeus. All right, no lies detected, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck him. Like I said. Who? That's the worst fucking president I ever known in my life.
Who?
Donald Trump.
Well, what about Bush?
Yeah, Bush was nothing like him.
All right, there you go, abuses. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my AM monologue, and we survived that, right? We got flagged at the beginning too, but we survived the morning show. And now it is time for me to open up these boxes and bring up panelists. Those of you who are brave enough to send a guest request, please send a guest request and come on up. But I must say, be careful. If you do accidentally submit a guest request and I get you up here, you know what the rule is. What is the rule? You owe what? 2 galaxies. 4 galaxies. JD Cakes, you said 4 galaxies. All right. Yeah. So, do we have any Trump voters out there? Please identify yourselves in the comments section. All right. We want to know where you're at right now. When it comes to your journey. All right, W. Rick, thank you. Or have I destroyed all the Trump supporters this morning, ladies and gentlemen? That's pretty impressive. If so, that's awesome. All right. Well, you know what? We're gonna bring up Alyssa. Alyssa, you're the first person. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. All right, Alyssa,
Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm kind of mixed. There's a new hearing that just came down that people that are facing deportation now only have 10 days to appeal in court versus the 30 days.
Get out of here.
Of course, affecting due process even more.
Right.
So that's a big issue. I did want to tell you that I did get to see Marcos last night on video camera.
Okay, congratulations. That's good news. I hope he's, I know the conditions aren't that great, but I'm glad you were able to at least check in with him. And Hopefully, send him a lot of love. Seriously.
He has been pretty upset. As you guys know, he had credible fear screening, and that's why he had to come over here.
Mm-hmm.
His cousin, we had to probe when we went into court to find some information out, and unfortunately, his cousin lost his life and was pew-pewed to death on Friday.
Wow.
Because of us having to poke the bear.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
It was really hard to see that, he's still that unsafe, and that it's affecting his family members.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for his family, that gentleman that perished, his daughter lost her fight to cancer 2 days before that. That was 8.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
My husband was, that's a lot to have to tell your husband while he's already sick.
Yeah.
We did get into the dentist yesterday.
He got to go to the dentist. Okay, good. Good.
No, not good. Because they told him that they weren't going to do anything for 2 to 3 months anymore. Anyways, he was on the list.
Wow.
They gave him more ibuprofen, and they said that they would think about giving him antibiotics, but they wouldn't tell him until next week if they're going to do that or not.
So not good. Not good.
Okay.
Wow.
No.
This is how they're treating. This is how they're treating other human beings. This is how ICE is treating other human beings. Am I correct?
Yeah. Except for they don't call them human beings; they call them bodies or it. They don't refer to them as actual people. I was lucky enough that, he's been pretty down with everything going on. You weren't on. Unfortunately, Angela was not on last night.
Oh.
But I was able to have him on camera, and I was able to show him in a live.
Yeah. Oh,
and he got to talk to people.
Wow.
So that he knows that he's not alone.
Wow.
Which was helpful for his spirit.
Yeah.
So.
Because, when you're, I can only imagine, but, being confined in the way that these people are, having interaction with people is probably like one of the best things you could ever have, on top of the, being able to get access to like food and water and things like that. So that's pretty awesome that he was able to interact with people. And I'm hoping that he sees you fighting for him, and it's encouraging him to keep fighting personally, because that's what it's going to take,
It is. We are trying to, Saturday I get to send him more money.
Okay.
So he can have water.
Wow. That's good.
They've ended up adding peanut butter so we could get some protein to the commissary that's available to them. He's already lost quite a bit of weight going on. So, it would be wonderful if people could share his story out. Because we are definitely struggling over here. All the links are in my bio.
Yes,
it would be greatly appreciative.
Well, we're definitely going to continue to keep up with you and try our best to help you out so that you can help, your husband out. Because it's your story, and it's the story ultimately of a lot of people, right? A lot of people in the country are dealing with this. It's like, it feels like the weight of the world is on you. I could only imagine, right? I'm just talking based off of what I've known, and from some of the conversations that I've had with people. It feels like the entire United States government is attacking you. Am I right?
It does. It's not only from this point. I am a child SA survivor. I was abused and sold as a commodity from the ages of 2 to 16.
Oh, no.
It wasn't called the word that it was called back then.
I'm
But
so sorry.
to see the pain of the e-files and everything else, to go through that, to see how the victims are not even able to talk about it, even though they were outed, and then to see no justice for them. And it's just extremely triggering. So it seems like every part of when I wake up, there's a new attack.
Yeah.
There's a new trigger. There's something going on. And
I'm so sorry. Yeah. You're right.
It's devastating.
It's definitely, and I'm not, because your experience is your experience, but from a person looking at this, right? It's actually caused me in a way to kind of, reflect in terms of being more sensitive to like the realities that folks like yourself are going through, and then trying to figure out ways that I can use my platform or in spaces that I occupy. How can I be an advocate in a way, right? Because if you're feeling like you're getting re-traumatized in a way, I'm under I sometimes go through and I see things happening and I sit there and I go, wow, this is a lot, and this is very heavy, and this is some very heavy stuff to deal with, and I'm not even in it like that, but there's some things that I've looked into with the e-files. It's just too difficult. It's just too difficult to even keep reading. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's definitely cause it. So somebody asked me where it was going on, that if I had a chance to talk to Bondi after seeing her ignore the people behind them.
Right.
They're like, how would you talk to somebody that has turned into that? And you have to sit there and think about how that would be.
Yeah.
When you are a survivor, you tend to either fight for the good and try to do better and help people, or you become hardened and become the evil that encased you.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't try talking to the Pam Bondi that we see today, because she has turned to the evil, and that's what she wants. That's why she can't look at the people behind her.
Yeah.
Because she can't feel that.
Yeah.
I would want to go back to the little girl who was there begging for somebody to pay attention and to save her.
Yeah.
And ask her if she could still tell herself and her own little girl inside that there would be still nobody to save her.
Yeah.
If she could look in herself and tell herself, no, I'm going to let you suffer.
Yeah.
Knowing that she was telling that little girl that there was no hope left anymore. That's where I would go.
There you go.
Because she doesn't have any care for anybody else. She needs to be reminded of the scared little girl that just wanted to save you at that point in time. Because I've been that little girl.
Yeah.
I've been wondering where God was during that time. Who could save me and who would help me? When I was a child, that my own mind had to set it up and block, and she chose the path that she had to choose to survive. But would she tell that little girl that she could not be innocent anymore? That she was going to have to deal with pain, and it was going to be a lifeline of abuse?
Could she? It's a good.
That's where I want to know.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good place to That's a very good point, right? Because I personally, when I look at Pam Bondi, I kind of get to that point too. But I think she made a conscious choice to serve evil. That's how I feel. She did. I don't know what may have led to that, but I'm sitting here and I'm listening to what you're saying. It's like breaking me inside. And then I'm thinking to myself, she refused to turn around and acknowledge those survivors at all. It never crossed her mind. If it did, she totally ignored it. But she never said to herself, this is going to look bad when it comes to the history books, or maybe God is looking at me right now. Maybe I should make sure I at least, show that I am a person of faith and acknowledge these people, because these are God's children too. And she never did it. And I said, wow. In a way, it sent chills down my spine, because I didn't think as a woman she could be that evil. I didn't think so. But now we're here. And so we need more people like you, Alyssa, honestly, to keep speaking up and speaking out honestly against this evil and corrupt and wicked administration, all right? And I'm going to keep encouraging you to hold on to faith. Keep your faith high as the sky, you know what I'm saying? And don't let no one talk you out of, doing the right thing when you're in a position to keep doing the right thing, all right? And we're going to keep up with you on this show, all right?
Thank you.
All right, ladies.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Alyssa. I truly, truly appreciate it. All right. No lies detected. You see how much strength it takes to come up here and share? Thank you so much. Thank you. And we need to have, these are those moments, ladies and gentlemen, where you got to listen to what's really happening to Americans all over the country, without all of the processing and the editing that goes on in the news media. Just listen to what people are saying, because that tends to help you. It can help you and guide you and become, in a way, your North Star if you would listen to it. It's heartbreaking to know that the weight of the government is going down on innocent people who are vulnerable. W's in the chat for terror. And you know what they say, what the devil meant for evil, God can use it for good. And I really do believe that that's what's happening right now, because when you see and hear stories like this, in a way, especially if there's still something good in you, you'll hear that and it'll help you to stand up and help somebody else down the road that's going through something. You never know what people are going through, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously. Let me go to the box, ladies and gentlemen. We have Tara. Wow, Tara, you decided to send Big Zeus a guest request this morning, or was that an accident, Tara? You already sent the Galaxy. Okay, W Tara. I knew you were okay. I was like, whoa. All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring up Don. Don Tomas. Don, come on up here. Welcome to the show. Oh, I thought I accepted you. Never mind. W Tara, you didn't have to do that, Tara. Ahead of the game, right? Oh, Don. Now you're here. Oh, Don, you jumped out of the guest request as soon as I got you up here. That's 2 galaxies, Don. A deal is a deal. Okay, I see. Ollie Cajun. Ollie, are you there? I don't see Ollie. Okay, Ollie, going once, going twice. That's 2 galaxies. All righty then, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see. Moving it along, ladies and gentlemen. Moving it along. Who do we got next? Martha. Good morning, Martha. Welcome. Hey, Martha. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Hi.
Sorry. I don't know how I clicked in again.
You did it again, Martha.
I did it again. Sorry.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen. That's W's for Martha, but Martha, a deal is a deal. A deal is a deal. I don't know how people ended up doing it, but it always happens at around the most strangest time. It really does. It really does happen. Who do we got next? Mustafa? Mustafa, good morning.
No, Zeus.
What's that?
No. What's that? No, I'm listening. I'm at work. This little Hawk brother. No, I'm at work.
Oh, little Hawk brother. All right. W's in the chat for little Hawk brother, Mustafa. I'm gonna let that one slide. But W, little Hawk's brother. I'm meeting some amazing people, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you never know, but Lil Hawk is taking good care of you. All right, bro. All right, so that's a W for you. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, hop out of the guest request if you accidentally sent a guest request. All right, otherwise I'll get you in here and I'll be in your business. Sanson, good morning. Sanson, I can hear you laughing and kikiing and ha-haing in the background. What's so funny? Sanson, you were just laughing, you were kikiing and ha-haing in the background. Now all of a sudden your radio's silent. All right. Oh, you dropped. All right, Sanson, that's 2 galaxies, W Zeus. You all heard her laughing, didn't you? I heard her laughing. All right, Aviator, W in the chat for Aviator. No, I heard you laughing. It was funny. It was funny then. All right, moving it along, ladies and gentlemen. All right, moving it along. All right, I heard it too. All right, Woodmonger, you're driving. Can't have that. All right, moving it along. All right, who do we got? Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. We got. I don't know what's going on. Carmama, good morning.
Carmama?
Yeah, you.
Me?
Yeah. Did you accidentally send me a guest request?
I must have accidentally sent it, but I love your content.
Okay. All right. Well, you know the rules. All right. Do you need a layaway plan, or you want to go ahead and just take care of that right now?
I don't know. I'm cleaning my room.
All right. Well, you know the rules. I'm going to let you get back to it, but it's 2 galaxies if I bring you up here. She's cleaning the room. I've heard some of the best excuses. All right. I've heard some of the, I don't know how people are cleaning their room. You know, you're vacuuming, the vacuum cleaner's going, the Zeus is playing. I've seen people making, I can't even say it, W. Rick, but we've had people getting up here literally doing ungodly acts. All right. And then I end up in the middle of it. And then they go, oh, Zeus, how did you end up here? And then they actually go and accuse me of going into their device and sending the guest request and then bringing myself up. I go, no, that's not how it works. You did that. You wanted us in your business. All right. So quit playing with your phones. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. Moving it along, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. Moving it along. All right. Let's see if we got somebody that's serious up in here. All right. Good morning, Nutty. Did you send this on purpose or was this an accident?
Oh no, Zeus. This was an accident.
Okay.
I was trying to help control the pet population. I was paying and neutering pets.
Oh.
So I just accidentally got in the box.
Thank you.
No, man. No, listen. So we just got done hearing from Alyssa.
Yeah.
We were hearing about the atrocities that the United States government is committing towards human beings, right?
Yeah.
So constitutionally, this takes me back as someone who studied the Constitution, teaches the Constitution. It takes me back to where Black people were 3/5 a person. Now, the Constitution never said that the actual human Black folks was 3/5. This goes back to the 3/5 compromise. What that meant was for every three white people, for every 5 white people, there was only going to be 2 or 3 that was going to be considered in the count for representation. This was all about your congressional seats.
Yeah.
And how many Congress people and how many senators at that time we were going to have. However, when the 14th Amendment got adopted, it completely repealed that 3/5 compromise. And effectively, we all know that the 14th Amendment specifically, it talks about, what's that?
No, I said right. I'm listening.
Oh, we know that the 14th Amendment, it talks about that, it talks about the citizenship of the United States, right?
Yeah.
So we know with the adoption of the 13th Amendment, freeing slaves, the 14th Amendment then gave slaves their right to citizenship,
right?
The right to be human, the right to be just like our white counterparts. All right.
Yeah.
And so with that came also the rights and privileges thereto as being a citizen, not just a citizen, but being human.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today.
Yeah.
2026. Whether you are documented or undocumented, because we've said it ad nauseum.
Yeah.
No one is illegal on stolen land. We've said that ad nauseum.
Yeah.
But it's worth repeating. No one is illegal on stolen land. But fast forward to today.
Yeah.
Anyone that is undocumented and under the auspicious control of the United States of America, they have what's called due process.
Yep. Anyone?
And this document, anyone, because the Constitution says persons. It doesn't say U.S. citizen. It says person, which not only implies, it is every living, breathing soul that is a human being. It is an atrocity that we have animals that gets more privileges than that of a human being because someone isn't documented from an imaginary border.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
Let that sink in. This border is imaginary. It's saying because you're from the other side of the tracks, you are less than. Because you are not from where my people are from, which consequently, the same people who are saying that, they're not from here either.
Yeah.
They're not from here. Because if we can just wrap them up in a bow tie and recreate the Mayflower and put their asses back on the Mayflower with all of its diseases, and send them back over to Europe, guess what? The Native Americans would be happy.
W Nutty.
The Native Americans would be rejoicing.
You hear this, MAGA? Because you're not paid. In other words, a lot of you Trump voters, you're not naturally from the United States. Did you know that?
But here's the thing, Zeus. Here's the thing. Even for the undocumented people that are in this country, where is our humanity?
You've been asking that question for a while.
I want to say it very slowly because I want this to marinate in people's mind.
Yeah, where is it?
Where is our humanity? Where is the love of Christ? Because the same people that are doing this, Zeus, the same exact people that are doing this, they're proclaiming to be followers of Christ. The same people who are doing this would be the same people who would send Jesus Christ back to Mount Calvary. Takesha says it all the time. We have Barabbas amongst us.
Yep. I
cannot fathom looking at the face of another human being. I don't care what ethnicity you are. I don't care what gender ideology you proclaim. I don't care. Looking in the face of another human being and saying you're less than because you're not like me, the devil is a lie.
Amen. Amen.
So with that being said, let me get out of here.
All right.
You all, I really implore all of us to continue bringing fire to this conversation when we're talking about immigration in this country.
Facts.
And talk about the humanity of people, of human beings. Because when we lose our humanity, we've lost the plot. Thank you very much.
Amen. Amen. W Nutty. No lies detected. You see how easy it is, ladies and gentlemen, just to get in the box and to tell the truth and shame the devil. Where are my critics? Where are my detractors? You guys see this? I'm just totally cooking these demons this morning. Michael, good morning. Michael David, you're in the guest request. How can I help you? Michael, 2 galaxies. All right, customer service. You know what to do with them. Who do we got right here? User, welcome. Good morning, user. How can I help you? User, are you there? Well, I don't know how to hold you accountable. Vegas girl, Nutty does not have selective outrage. What you and Kimmy did yesterday when you allowed the host in that live to get away with weaponizing racism, that's the selective outrage. Because as soon as a brother like myself or Nutty starts to speak, it's amazing how you like to pipe up and be very critical. It's amazing how you end up doing that. As soon as a brother like me or Nutty speaks, you pipe up and you get very critical, but you ain't got nothing to say when the heathens that you run with turn around and weaponize racism. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. Let's go ahead and give Vegas girl a round of booze and shame. I just felt like doing that. Yeah, you put it.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got next? Good morning, Patty. Welcome to the show, Patty. How are you doing? Uh-oh, Patty, I can hear. It sounds like you're driving, Patty. Can't do that. All right, there you go. Good morning. Who do you have? Good morning, Karma. Welcome, Karma. How are you?
Good morning.
Good
morning, Deuce.
Good morning. How are you doing? Long time no see. I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you?
I know. I've been busy. You've been busy too, I see.
You know what I do, I do what I do.
Okay, so I got a story.
Okay, what do you got for us?
This morning, I was taking my friend to work, and we're at a stoplight on a busy street. And there's this woman over on the left side of the sidewalk, and she just rips down her pants and goes to the bathroom right there on the sidewalk. And I was like, are you serious? Is this real?
No.
And she's cussing out the air. She's like, be this, be that, be this, F you this, come talk to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And everybody is laughing. You could hear it in their cars.
Wow. This happened this morning?
Just this morning, like an hour ago. I was like, oh my God, what is this world coming to?
Wow.
I could not believe it. It is scary. It is scary. I'm like, you want to go talk to her? And my cousin's like, nope, you go talk to her. I'm like, I am not getting out of this car. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, stay safe out there. All right. I don't know.
Don't even go offer her a cup of coffee. Nothing. Wow. Get away from her.
Wow.
It's crazy out
Was
here.
she wearing a red hat by any chance? I'm just curious. Because
she wasn't wearing anything. But some pullovers and oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, I hope she gets help, seriously, because that seems very serious. That seems very serious. All right.
Yeah. You know what? Karma's coming back around, and you know what? Karma will be heard, because this is not the first time this has happened.
What do you mean?
With Trump.
Okay.
Remember, this is what he was impeached for last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everybody wants to act like this is the first time it's happening. No, it's not. It's happened before. And
so
nobody wants.
So you're saying you kind of think Trump has brought some of this evil stuff up on America?
Yes, everything he's doing, he's done before. And he's just going more and more and more. And everybody's just letting him get away with it. Because he holds no accountability, no responsibility
Facts.
for his actions, nothing.
Let me ask you a question. Could you honestly give us has Donald Trump done anything good for the United States of America, honestly?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I have been sold and trafficked since I was a child, and now I'm on the other side of the law, and I'm going on the right path.
Good job.
And I'm trying to help all those who have come before me and who are involved now.
Amen.
I'm trying to help them get out of it by making their voices heard.
Good job. I got to give you a huge round of applause, Karma, because that is bravery.
Because I am a herd. You know, I got out of trafficking when I was in 2020. In the last 7 years I was in it, I got the hell beat out of me every single day for 7 years. And I survived. I was 1 in 5 that survived.
Wow.
A human trafficking ring. And I don't feel special. I don't want any
you are special.
yay or applause. You know, because I think I'm just doing what I need to be doing, and that's just to have everybody's voices need to be heard that are being affected by this.
Yeah.
Because it is not okay. Not okay at all.
This is what's bothering me in a way, right? The way that the way the Trump administration is handling this Epstein situation. Is it me, or does it come across, because you see things different than I? Do you think that it's a hoax in terms of the way that this is all playing out? Because I've heard people say this is all a hoax, and Donald Trump, if he had nothing to hide, then the Democrats would have released it under Joe Biden. how do you look at this, right? Why do you think Donald Trump is struggling to be transparent with the American people about what's in the files and his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein? I just want to know, you can shoot from the hip, so to speak, but what is your thought behind that?
I think it's all been premeditated. It's been going on for years, and it's all been premeditated. And he just keeps going and going and going. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He don't stop. And you know what? Sooner or later, his batteries are going to die.
Well,
and the
there you go.
Energizer is not even going to be able to help him.
Do you think he has something to hide?
Everything. He's got everything to hide. Because he was involved. And this has been going on for years. Okay? This didn't just start. It's all been premeditated.
Thank you.
And everybody in Trump's administration is an accomplice because they know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they all need to go to prison.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah. So you think they're actually part of the cover up then, and they know what's going
Exactly.
on. So then
Yep.
my last question is this. I've spoken with a lot of folks on the right, Karma. You may have seen me. What do you say to the women on the right that continue to say, we're just bad, we're just angry with Trump, we have TDS, but Donald Trump had nothing to do with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, all right? It's just, if
You know
anything, yeah, what do you say to those women? Because to me, it's almost like they're defending him and they're not
Well,
seeing, sorry?
You know how Trump says he loves the ignorant. Well, there you go.
There you go. There you go. The poorly educated. Yeah, there you go.
If you voted for Donald Trump, you deserve everything that's happening right now because this is what you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what you wanted. Now you got to deal with your actions.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're a Republican-controlled woman, you have no rights. Because under the Republicans' administration that has failed over and over and over again, it's not going to get passed again.
No.
And
Exactly.
everything that they're doing right now on the Republicans' agenda that has failed numerous times.
Yeah.
So keep it up.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Keep it up. There you go. There you go. Well, listen, Karma, thank you.
Thank you,
You made me
Zeus.
feel a lot better today because every time I talk to you, you bring all this energy and this inspiration. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give Karma a huge.
Thank you, guys.
And they love you.
Everybody
Yes.
out there, make your voices heard. If you see something, say something.
There you go.
Okay, don't be a stranger.
Amen. Stranger danger. There you
Stranger
go.
danger.
There
Thank
you go.
Zeus. Have a
You're-
great day.
All right, you too. No lies detected. Now look, guess who's back at my guest request? Good morning, Tara. Welcome back, Tara. I see you in the guest request. I did that on purpose. I see you. No. You came into that, so I saw you. I was just trying to see if you were really trying to hide. W's in the chat for Tara. You don't got to do that. All right. Good morning, Takesha. Welcome. Takesha disappeared. Okay. Thank you, Tara. I was trying to get you in here. All right. Moving it along. Who do we got? Dookie Duke. Welcome, Dookie Duke. Welcome to the show. Dookie Duke.
I get the nigga help. Just fucking do whatever.
Huh?
Fuck up everything.
Oh, Dookie Duke. We don't talk like that on this show, champ.
Oh, sorry, brother. I was sitting there talking by myself. I didn't even know I was on. Thank you. How you doing?
You was talking.
I know. My bad, Zeus.
I don't know if I. What was you talking about? Who got you that?
I was
angry this
mixing
morning?
up. People in general, man. It's just like these people is like I don't know, man. Everybody that say they read Project 25 and things like this, and it's like this man is doing exactly what he wrote or them people wrote in that book, man.
True.
So when things is
That's
happening,
what you was arguing about though in the background, though? Or is this because
I'm about to make you laugh.
okay, if you make me laugh, then we gonna forgive the debt because there's 2 galaxies, all right? But
all right. I literally was practicing what I was going to say if you called me up. That's exactly what I was doing.
You done made yourself laugh. Laugh.
Yeah. I say, if Zeus called me up, I'm going to say this, that, and the third. That I thought about an argument I had yesterday with somebody, a MAGA fan that I had yesterday. So
is there a
it's just
chance?
like,
So that could be you making up stuff and lying, because when I was a child, I used to do things like that. You get caught by your parent, then you'd be like, well, I was eating a Captain Crunch because I was trying to save you from having diabetes, and I'm the young one. I know
exactly.
But we end up getting caught at the end of the day, right?
When you caught me at that part, you know what I was talking about? You remember that comic book called Richie Rich?
Yeah, I remember some of that. Yeah, what's up?
That's what I was talking about.
Now we in the comic books territory, bro. Okay,
Yes.
that's funny. That's funny.
Yes.
You done took it all the way to Richie Rich. Listen, man,
Yes.
I'm gonna let this go.
That's
then.
exactly. That's what I was comparing the man in office to, because he do things and they just let it slide. That's exactly what's going down.
Lord have mercy. I've heard everything on this show. All right, Dookie Duke. Fair enough. All right,
but
you win.
On a serious note, it's like you got these guys just every day lying about serious matters.
Yeah.
And see the whole thing. I ain't really like biblical or nothing like that. But see, the whole thing is really you gotta follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's really money. Like the whole thing with Netanyahu want to get rid of people in Gaza.
Yeah.
And the whole thing. All right, you get rid of them. What y'all trying to do afterwards? And Jared Kushner and the other guy, they want to build hotels and beaches on these people's holy land.
Yeah.
That is not going to happen.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, you did an outstanding job this morning, brother. All right. You came up here and you moonwalked the way you did, but I know you didn't give up the game the way I was hoping you would give up the game, but you did make me laugh. All right. Now listen up. I gotta move it on. Dookie Duke.
All right, man.
Don't let me catch you slipping out here in these streets again. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Dookie
No,
Duke.
sir. No,
All
sir.
right. He
All
cleaned
right.
it up. He cleaned it up. No lies detected. You heard what he was in there talking about. He getting on somebody. He could, if you would have been like, yeah, it was a bill collector or something, I'd have said, you know what, I respect it. Because that's what you got to talk to the bill collectors like, right? All right. Good morning, Takesha. Now you're back.
I wasn't. My plan really was not to come up today, but I was sitting here and I was listening, and I was led to give a word right quick.
Let's do it.
You know, Zeus. The Bible says that whatever you sow, that's what you gonna reap. And I thought about how America is treating these immigrants, whether they did something or not, to not give them water and feed them right and put them in decent facilities, and the way they treating people that God Himself created, treating them inhumane, and people always tend to say, well, where is this loving God that He's allowing all this stuff to happen? But the Bible says you shall reap what you sow.
Yeah.
And I think they often forget how their ancestors treated black people in slavery.
Oh.
Zeus, your reaping is generational. So a lot of the things that we go through in life is not what we did, but what those before us did, Zeus. Because your reaping doesn't always come to you. It could come through your children. It could come to your spouse. It can come through your parents, your brothers and sisters, or your uncles. It's generational.
Amen.
That's why you have to be careful what you do in this life.
Woo.
So Those of you whose parents and grandparents and all had slaves and are racist, and you going through something in life, that ain't got nothing to do with the lovingness of God. That has to do with the hatefulness of those before you.
Amen.
So
Preach
you're
it.
reaping what they sowed. So don't ever question where is the love in God. You question where was the love in those before me.
Amen. Preach that word, Takesha. Preach
And that's your word. And the reason things keep going like they going is because evil is still present. Look at how they doing the immigrants. Somebody got to pay for that.
Yeah.
Their children got to pay for that. Their children's children has to pay for that because it's generational.
Yeah. Yeah. You ain't lying. I mean, what do you say about this? Because we're sitting out here and we're watching. You made me think about it. People who are rejoicing in evil right now. You know who they are.
Zeus.
They're rejoicing in it. Huh?
It's gonna fall on their children.
But it looks like they're doing
It's
great
gonna fall
though.
on their Zeus. Don't be fooled. Do not be.
I'm making more money than I've
Zeus.
ever made in my life.
Zeus.
Supporting Donald Trump. Come on now,
Zeus.
Takesha. That's what this is all about.
The love of money.
Oh.
The love of it.
The love of it.
Is the root of all evil, Zeus. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and in the end he lose his soul?
But I had
Zeus?
such a good time when I went to the club, man. You know what I'm saying?
And hell is your portion.
Oh.
Let me say this, Zeus.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go because I want to leave. Folks.
She's talking
I
to
wanna
somebody
leave people
today.
with this thought.
Go ahead, Takesha.
Check this out, Zeus.
Go ahead.
Say there is no God, which I know for myself there is one.
Right.
And I believe in him. What am I gonna lose if there's not one?
Nothing.
But you saying it ain't now, and it is one, you got everything to lose, Zeus. So me believing ain't costing me nothing, but you not believing is costing you everything. And that's all I got to say.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat. Wow, we're talking to somebody out there this morning right now struggling with a demon inside of them. And Takesha, what you just said.
There's demon bound, Zeus.
Yeah. There's somebody out there that received that good word. I appreciate you, Takesha. All right.
They had to receive it because the Lord kept nudging me to give it.
Yeah.
So I be obedient to what he tell me to do, and I go on, Zeus. I shake the dust off my feet when they don't accept it. But somebody needed that word this morning.
Yeah. I know I needed it. All right, seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have a great day, Zeus.
All right. No lies detected. Is there anyone out there that disagrees with Big Zeus? Place a 1 in the chat if you disagree with Big Zeus. I'll get you right in here and we'll get the demon cast right on out. It doesn't take long, but as you all can see, W's in the chat for Big Zeus. I guess since the format of the show has shifted, right, where now they don't just hear the audio, they actually get to go see the stuff that I'm talking about and can look into it for themselves. They're paralyzed. Yeah. I guess what I'm doing is working, right, with MAGA, because you're paralyzed every time you listen to Big Zeus, and you don't have anything else to get up here and say, well, you know what, Zeus, you got to look at it from this way. They don't do that anymore. They sit back and they go, oh my God, those gas prices are really high. Yeah, the cost of beef is really high. Oh my gosh, did you see the oil? Yeah. Donald Trump really has no clue what he's talking about. He has no plan. Somebody actually said, it's really good that we actually went in there and did what we did in Iran. And I said, well, wouldn't it have been nice if we got along with NATO and Ukraine before we went and did this? Wouldn't it have been nice to have our allies all on the same page as us as we went in and did this? Wouldn't it have been nice if this didn't come across as chaotic and unpredictable? Wouldn't it have been nice if the Secretary of War Crimes, Pete Hegseth, actually had the experience, all right, to justify the position that he was in and wasn't a DEI hire? Wouldn't it have been nice if we could at least get Donald Trump to do something for the American people? And none of you Trump supporters out there want to do the one thing that I think would prove everything I've been saying is a lie. What is that? Lace up those boots and enlist and get on over there to one of those military bases in the GCCs and say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to lay my life down for Daddy Trump. None of you will do that. Cowards. No, I don't need to do that. But if they come over here, Zeus, I'll do that. You wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. All you want to do is collect your coins on TikTok and yell about how bad the Democrats are. You ain't really about this. That's why I say I just couldn't allow myself to be a sucker and led astray by the most incompetent group of people I've ever seen on the face of the earth. These people, ladies and gentlemen, it has to be a wicked, evil spirit upon this nation, brought to you by yours truly, the demon himself, the one that hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. I can't let the Epstein stuff go because I don't see how a nation could be blessed. This is just me. I don't see how a nation could be blessed with a person that was doing what Epstein did is running the country. I don't see how we can be blessed as a country. How does that work? How do you go to these churches and sit there? You know, they get mad at Don Lemon up there with the ICE situation. How do you go inside of a church after voting for Donald Trump, not once, not twice, but 3 times, to sit down and let the pastor read something out of the Bible and actually act like you are saved, sanctified, and full of the Holy Spirit, and then go walk right on out of the church, right back to serving the devil and worshiping the devil 24/7. I hear what these people say. You go to church, yeah, I'm a Christian, but they'll cuss you out in a minute, won't they? These folks, I'm a Christian, but they'll cuss you right out in a minute. And then you actually ask them to start backing up what they believe in and asking them to provide Bible chapter and verse to justify the beliefs. And guess what they'll do? I know how to separate my faith from a man, Zeus. I know how to separate the person from the policy, Zeus. That's how the devil gets you. That's how the devil gets you. And Takesha was so right when she said the Lord put it on her. Yeah, because I'm watching my country literally just fall right apart. I got a lot of brothers and sisters out here literally worshiping the devil, but they're having a good time. They're having a great time worshiping the devil, and while Donald Trump is in office, and I sit back and I laugh to myself, and they say, Zeus, how are you so patient with these people? Because I used to be like them. I used to, listen, before I was Zeus, and I shouldn't say this, but before I was Zeus, man, I could tell you, I've done so much thing, and it was so fun when you were doing it. But you know what they say? Every dog has their day. Every dog has their day. And even Donald Trump, believe it or not, he's having his day because all that success he keeps talking about, that's a disguise from all the hurt and all the actual accountability that he's trying to hide from. But that's why he has to keep saying it over and over. We're bringing in trillions and trillions of dollars. He has to try to psych himself out to try to distract from the reality he's in. Make no mistake, just because he's the president, it doesn't mean he's thriving. That's why he's tripping out on Joe Biden. He can't believe Joe Biden got in and out and didn't have to deal with all the stuff he's got going on. MAGA. And eventually every dog is going to have their day. Every single dog is going to have their day. And then then what's going to happen is this. And I know I'm getting a little bit outside of myself, but I'll say this. I know what's going to happen with every single one of you Trump supporters. Mark my word. You saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. And you see what's happening with all of these right-wing influencers, the ones that are actually at least being vocal about it. Some of them are suffering in silence, but eventually you're going to run into that place where it all comes crashing down. And it's going to start slow. Initially, it starts slow, right? You're going to find like, oh, you know, you're in a relationship and your partner all of a sudden, they all of a sudden start popping off at you and getting real disrespectful. You're like, oh, that's nothing, whatever. And then you go to work and something and you all of a sudden start seeing things at work aren't really panning out. You start finding yourself to be frustrated, and then money start acting funny. And then one day, boom, like a boom, boom, it all comes crashing down. And you're going to find out who your real friends are and who your real enemies were. And you're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away, MAGA. When you find out, when the dust settles, you're going to be blown away at how wrong you really were. So that's why I say the whole nation, honestly, we're going through a bit of a little sickness. It's like he says it's an excursion, but the excursion is actually the other way around. It's actually happening here. We're going through a little excursion as a country. Yeah. And eventually, to every single one of you Trump supporters out there, you're going to be shocked when you come to the realization that the worst enemy in the country is the inner me. You know what I'm saying? The inner me, you. You've been your own worst enemy this entire time. Did you know that, MAGA? And that's a huge W, Zeus. And I should be charging every single Trump supporter as much as I could to give them this kind of information, this kind of knowledge, this kind of understanding, this kind of experience. I should be charging you for it. But you know what? I said, you know what? Maybe if I could save one person, it's worth it. It's no big deal because I want to actually do what I can to try to save this country. All right. But for the ones that continue to step on it and act like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, keep up the good work. All right. Keep up the good work. Keep worshiping the devil. Keep worshiping the devil. And then I want you to go find somebody who worshiped the devil and actually came out on top, because you'll never outperform the devil when it comes to being the devil. I know I went off a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, but I had to. I had to do that because Takesha put it on my heart. All right. Good morning, Q-Dog. Sorry. Good morning, Q-Dog. Q-Dog.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all
can you
right.
hear
How
me?
about you? Yeah, I can. Welcome.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A quick question. All these folks that we ain't heard a peep out of ICE since this war started. And nobody say, oh yeah, I'm volunteering to go over there. Where y'all at, MAGA? All the people that are in the chat and so forth and call themselves patriots. I'm a patriot. I'm the right side of the law. Where y'all at? Have y'all signed up yet? No, it's been how many soldiers have been unalive since the start of Zeus?
I think around
It's
8. I'm hearing 8
about,
or
it's about
7.
8, right?
Yeah.
It's racking up. So why don't y'all go over there and replace them, MAGA? Where you at? See, I'm tired of y'all coming up here, the tiny tank top Tims and the Snuggles and the Wild Man, and they got all this energy on these lives. But ain't nobody said nothing about saying, you know what, I'm going to enlist. I'm going to go over there and fight for my country because I'm a proud American. Where you at, MAGA? Vegas girl? Janae? It's not just for the men. Women too. Where you at? I hear y'all on Zeus's live every day, but y'all ain't went to Nair, Army, Navy, Marines. Y'all ain't went to none of them offices to enlist. Come back on TikTok and tell us that you done enlisted and you getting ready to be deployed over there to Iran. I might respect you a little bit more. With all the rhetoric that y'all come up here and all the energy you come up here with every day, giving it to Zeus, me, and everybody else. Shay, Nutty, Takesha. Y'all give us all that energy. Why don't you take that energy and go over there to Iran and tell us how it worked out for you? You know, y'all got a lot of ICE agents that's out there that ain't got no experience, but they also gung-ho when it comes to being in the streets of the United States. Have you heard any of them say anything about going over there in Iran? Oh, that's where the real heat is. See, anybody could be a bully on the block. Talk real tough with a pew-pew in his hand against an innocent bystander or innocent person that is out there just peacefully protesting. Take that same energy over there. Tell them to put one of them in your hands over there in Iran. See how it work out for you. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to chime up here on this panel and say, Zeus, Q-Dog, I'm ready. I'm going to enlist today. Or even I'm going to enlist this week. All I hear is crickets right about now.
Same here. Same here. All talk. They want to pop on. They want to go live. That's what they want to do, Q-Dog. They want to go live on TikTok. That's it.
All bark and no bite. That's what we call it. All bark and no bite. You'll get up here every day and curse us out and come with all kinds of energy ready to come through the phone. Where that same energy at? Everybody in the chat that comes up here every day on Zeus's Live that is for Zeus and how he orchestrates his platform, they waiting. I ain't heard one MAGA come up here yet saying they ready.
Not one.
Can I get one?
Has anyone seen anyone Trump supporter get up here and say that they're ready to go to Iran and actually show us they've done what it takes to get over there and fight? I haven't seen one.
Oh, Stephen42 says he's ready. Come on up here, Stephen42.
No, he's on our side. He's on our side.
Oh, he's on our side?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Maybe, I think we misread the comment. I think we misread.
Okay, I was about to add, I was ready for one because I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for one, just one brave soul to say I'm MAGA and I'm ready.
Look at that. But we'll never get them to do it. And this is why I've lost the little respect that I've had, because as much as I call my show of entertainment, engaging, and educational, right? As entertaining as this is, I'm not a fool about the real life consequences of war, right? And I'm upset that Donald Trump was calling it a war, but then you got people in his cabinet trying to say it's not, so there's confusion. But there's real American people losing their life. And I don't think that's funny. I don't even think this is a policy discussion at this point. This is not just, we can set aside our difference and come to an agreement. No, people are losing their life. And for what?
See, here's the thing when it comes to that, Zeus. Everybody wants to be the big dog in the fight when it comes to selling what they call wolf tickets. But when them pew-pews are flying over your head, whizzing past your ear, the real ones. We ain't talking about the fake one that Trump set up on that platform. We talk about the real pew-pews. Where you got folks over there that's willing to strap up, what on their chest and give their life for their country and for their cause.
Yeah, that's why I said they're cowards. There was the NFL player. I don't know if you remember him. But I remember there was an NFL, maybe there were more, but that was an example of someone, and he lost his life in the Iraq War, I believe, right? But that was an example of somebody that said, I take this serious. And they actually went and did what they did over there. I know the audience remember his name, but that to me, that's where I say.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now.
But to me, that's what I want to see MAGA do. Tillman, yeah, there you go. That's what I want to see MAGA do. Other than that, you're cowards. You're literally on TikTok or you're on the social media, you're on the internet, literally just trying to get more views, engagement. That's it. But you're cowards. Because now is the time to back up. Now is the time to back it all up right now. Other than that, this is just a waste of time. So this is why they're in hiding right now, because even in the MAGA cult, Q-Dog, the ones that are understanding how serious this is, they're going, you know what? We're done with Donald Trump. So who's left? It's the cowards.
Exactly.
I can't respect them, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm having a very, very hard time respecting anybody that supports Donald Trump, because this is the moment with ICE and this. We got real people losing their lives out there, and all y'all got is nothing but jokes and talking and blaming Democrats. It's sick.
I think we got one brave soul, Zeus.
Who?
Backwood. Come on up here.
Who?
See, the problem that I got, there was one called Backwoods. I know where you come from. That's probably how you got your name. But the problem I got, Backwoods, and you feel free to give Zeus an invite to come on up here and have a brief discussion with me. See who the real man is. What I need you to understand is I have zero respect for these men that are in these ICE uniforms, ready to fight a kid, ready to take down a woman, ready to put anybody that doesn't believe what they believe or follow what they follow, ready to put them on the wrong side of the dirt. But you ain't ready to go over there and serve your country. You do all that mess over here to innocent civilians, but you ain't ready to go over there where the real action is. Backwood, where you at? You got a lot of mouth, a lot of talk in that chat down there. Come on up here. Show us what kind of real man you are. Show us that you ready to enlist. Tell us man to man, face to face, chat to chat. We'll wait on you. We lost volume over here, Zeus. I can't hear you.
I said I tried to invite him up, but he didn't want to. They didn't want to come up. I don't know. So my bad, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Once again, all bark, no bite.
Yeah, I invited them, but they didn't want to come up. So that says a lot. So how could you support a person, ladies and gentlemen? How could you support a part? How do you listen to people that aren't even willing to back up what they say? That's the lesson for today. Is MAGA really backing up what they're saying at this point, ladies and gentlemen? At least I got respect for the folks who get out there and protest. I respect that, right? Because they're saying this is what I believe in and I'm willing to do it. But you mean to tell me with your daddy running the country, your daddy controlling the military, you're not willing to lace up your boots and get over there and fight the war for him? Nothing.
Oh, they so quick to say
nothing else.
Oh, it's the Democrats.
Yeah.
How is it that the Democrats and the Republicans have the majority of the vote?
Hey, Q Dog, me and you got nothing to do with them being cowards. We got nothing to do with that. That's all on them. End of discussion. But I gotta move it on. All right, bro. We cooked, ladies and gentlemen. We cooked.
Not one lie detected. Not one MAGA comes up here to test what we say.
Yeah.
So we know what we doing.
Thank you.
And we do it very well.
Amen. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, W's in the chat for Q Dog. No lies detected. And see, that's where I stand with MAGA. And that's why they don't like me right now. Because they're listening to this show, but they know I'm not going to play the game anymore. Get over there and fight for your daddy. Case closed. And I don't want to hear all that, but I don't want to see any of these crocodile tears. Oh, no, I got to take care of my family and kids. No. You got to save America. You got to be that superhero. You got to put that cape on and get on over there. Don't tell me how much, I want to go hang out with my friends and see them. No. Be a soldier. Stand behind your word. That's how a lot of us were raised, honestly. That's why lying is a dangerous thing. Because when you lie, you could actually steal from somebody in terms of their reality, their existence. You could put a lot of people in danger with lies. That's why lies are an issue. And the fact that Donald Trump has been lying so much that we're in this moment we're at right now, yeah, get on over there. Anything less than that, as far as I'm concerned, is an act of cowardice. And I just don't have any respect at that level, ladies and gentlemen. All right, W's in the chat. Yeah. Why? I don't want to hear any of these excuses. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, listen up, Big Zeus. I thought I had, who was that? Someone that said they had something up here about the farms. What was that veteran? Who was the veteran? I thought they were here. All right, well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We've reached the pinnacle moment of the show where Big Zeus has to get up out of here. We've cooked and we booked, ladies and gentlemen. You've all deserved a huge round of applause. But let the lesson of the day be this. if we covered a lot of things, right? But the lesson is this: when you see MAGA, just call them what they are, cowards. You can argue about policy and things about the economy because no one tends to lose their life instantly like that. I mean, I get it, right? We can argue about education and reforms that need to take place. We can argue about, I mean, health insurance, even then people are losing, but you can argue about policies. But war, that's a completely different beast. I'm watching I watch the dignified transfers that are aired. You know why I watch them? Because I know I learned from Barack Obama that this is serious. This helps bring you into focus and brings war into focus and helps you understand that when you're creating a policy, it directly impacts the lives of the American people. And I'm also sensitive to the reality of other people's lives who are also harmed on the other side of the battlefield, right? But for MAGA to sit there and allow Donald Trump to skip a dignified transfer and go to a fundraising event and have JD Vance fill in the gap, for MAGA to allow Donald Trump to stand there with that stupid little hat on, you're cowards. And we have I just can't take you serious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. You all deserve a huge round of applause. Thank you for all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Because without you, this show wouldn't be what it is. Entertaining, engaging, and very, very educational. But I also got to give one last round of booze and shame, and it's going to be brief. This last round of booze and shame goes out to every single one of you Zeus haters who are nothing but cowards. You won't go fight for your daddy, and you'll cover up the fact that your daddy is in the Epstein files. Say less.
Silence, you MAGA Damon.
All right, that's a huge W Zeus. All right, let's play the Crybaby song for him before we get up out of here. You know what it is. What's this song? Oh, Zeus, you hurt my feelings.
What about body?
Zeus, you hurt my feelings this morning.
What about body?
What's this song?
What about Biden? Stole the whole election night.
Go ahead, yeah.
Read the votes there tonight. Yeah, that ain't right. What about Biden? Borders wide open, let them flood it.
That's all y'all want to y'all a bunch of crybabies.
Where we begin.
What about Biden?
Gas prices sky.
Real tough out there, huh? But won't go to war for us.
Dying, can't feed your child.
You made all of this up.
Left them behind.
WR.
13 soldiers gone. Joe acting blind. What about Biden?
Just a bunch of weaklings.
Yeah. What about Biden? What about Biden?
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate every single one of you.
Up in the White House, call him Sleepy Joe, cognitive decline. Everybody knows stumbling words, can't finish a sentence. Puppet on strings, who pulling the lever?
Georgia, get out and vote today.
China cash flow, million concealed. Family getting pain, influence pedal while we out here struggling, pockets unsettled. Weaponized OJ, FBI raids. Mar-a-Lago storm, 100 gets praised. January 6th, locking up brands, but Joe's pacified docs in his garage, man. Keystone cancel, energy weak, depending on foes, gas $4 a week. Crime in the cities, soft on the streets, defund the police. Chaos.
What about Biden?
Stole the whole election night.
Wow, this is all y'all got, huh?
Yeah, that ain't right. What about Biden? Borders wide open, let them flood it. Millions crossing, drugs pouring. Where we begin? What about Biden?
Weaponized DOJ. You got that heavy?
Economy dying, can't feed your child.
You ain't seen nothing yet with Donald Trump.
Left them behind.
13 soldiers gone.
Joe acting blind.
This is what got him.
What about
Biden? They cry over this. But he put his heart into this, so I respect it, though. He took it to the studio. This is my favorite part. Ask the question. What about him? Ooh, that's a cold line. What about him? What about him? All right, ladies and gentlemen. She fit you right. What about him? Ask yourself that. What about him? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. Have a great rest of your morning. We are out.